English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy.
Hey guys, welcome back to another chill episode of Learn English with Joy. I'm Chris, here to keep things real and honest, as always.
And I'm Emily, excited to be here with you. So grab your coffee or your tea or whatever makes you feel cozy, because today's topic really hits home.
Yeah, it really does. Let me ask you this. Have you ever spent weeks, maybe even months, learning English vocabulary and still couldn't actually say anything?
Oh my gosh, Chris. That was me for years. I had notebooks full of words. Like seriously, I had a vocabulary notebook that was thicker than my grammar textbook.
That's dedication.
Yeah, but you know what? I still couldn't make a proper sentence when I tried to talk to someone. It was like my brain had the pieces, but no idea how to put the puzzle together.
Totally. And you know what? I hear this from learners all the time. They'll say, Chris, I know a lot of English words. I understand podcasts, movies, and I can pass vocabulary quizzes. But when I try to speak, nothing comes out.
Yup. It's like you have all the Lego bricks, but no instruction manual to build anything. You just stare at the pile, hoping magic happens.
Exactly. Or like having a full fridge but still saying, there's nothing to eat.
So true. And it's frustrating, right? Because it feels like you should be able to speak. You've done the work, you've put in the time, but somehow you still freeze up.
And that makes you doubt yourself, makes you feel like you're doing something wrong, when really, you're just missing a few key steps.
Exactly. The good news is, you're not alone, and it's totally fixable. You don't need to learn more words. You need to learn how to use the words you already know.
That's the heart of it. So today's episode is called, I know so many words, but I still can't make a sentence. We're going to dig into why that happens, what's blocking you, and how to start building real sentences, even with the words you already have. Emily, we're keeping it simple, fun, and super doable. So if you've ever felt like your mouth just doesn't want to cooperate with your brain, this one's for you. Stick around, friends. We've got some great tips, easy habits, and real talk coming your way. Ready, Em?
Let's do it.
All right. So let's break this down. Why does this happen? Why do so many people know a bunch of English words but still can't use them to speak?
First thing, most of us learn vocabulary the wrong way. We study individual words, just one word at a time. Like beautiful, travel, important. That's great, but in real conversations, we don't use words by ourselves. We use them in groups, in chunks, in full thoughts.
Right. Knowing the word important means nothing if you don't know how to say something like, it's important to me, or that's not important right now. You need to know how it works in action.
Exactly. If you're just memorizing words like flashcards, it's like collecting puzzle pieces without ever learning how they fit together. You end up knowing a lot, but not knowing how to speak.
And the second reason is simple but real. You're not speaking enough. You're probably listening, maybe reading a bit, but you're not practicing saying things out loud. And here's the deal. Listening is passive. Speaking is active.
Totally. I always tell my students, language doesn't live in your head, it lives in your mouth. You have to speak it to actually own it.
And a big part of why people avoid speaking? The fear of making mistakes. You want your grammar to be perfect, your sentence to be flawless. And because you're afraid of messing up, you don't say anything at all.
Yup. Been there. I used to overthink every single word. I'd stop myself halfway through a sentence thinking, wait, is this the right tense? Is that grammar okay? And by the time I figured it out, the conversation had already moved on.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to be perfect. And that perfectionism is actually holding you back from progress. You can't get better if you don't try. Mistakes are part of the process. Emily, honestly, some of the best progress I made came from making the wrong sentence and laughing about it later. Here's another reason, and this one's sneaky. Your brain just isn't used to building sentences fast. You know the words, but you haven't trained your brain to grab them quickly and put them in order on the spot. So you freeze.
Yup. It's like your brain is working through a maze every time it tries to form a sentence. Slow and awkward at first, but with practice, it speeds up.
It's like buying gym equipment but never working out. You've got the tools, but if you're not using them, you're not getting stronger.
Exactly. Words are the tools. But if you don't build with them, they're just stuff in your toolbox. They don't turn into anything useful on their own.
So the big idea here is, knowing vocabulary is just the first step. If you want to actually speak, you've got to practice using those words. You need to speak, make mistakes, build sentences, and let go of the pressure to be perfect.
We're going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's move into some real, simple tips that'll help you turn your words into actual sentences.
Tip number 1, learn in chunks, not just single words. This one's a game changer. Seriously. So what are chunks? Basically, they're small groups of words that we often use together in real conversations. Native speakers don't just think word by word. We speak in ready-made word combinations.
Right. For example, instead of just learning the word recommend, you learn the whole phrase, I'd recommend trying, or I highly recommend this place. Those are chunks. You hear them all the time, and they come out naturally.
Exactly. So instead of trying to build a sentence from scratch, chunk learning gives you pre-made building blocks. You don't have to think, okay, I have this word, now how do I connect it to the next one? The connection's already built in.
And here's the cool thing, chunks are easier to remember. They stick in your brain because they're connected to real situations, tone, and feeling. Like I still remember this one from a show I loved. You've got to be kidding me. It's so much more natural than just knowing the word kidding.
Yeah. And if you say just one word, it doesn't sound natural. But if you say a full chunk, like, I'm not sure about that, you sound like someone who's been using English for years.
One thing that really helped me when I was learning French was literally going through books and highlighting chunks. I didn't even care about the individual words. I just focused on useful, everyday phrases I could repeat.
Love that. I actually did the same when learning Spanish. I would watch shows and write down exact phrases people used in conversations. Things like, that makes sense, or what do you mean? Then I'd say them out loud a few times, until they just felt natural.
That's a great habit. You're not just learning what to say, but how to say it the way real people do. And that's where the fun comes in. You get to mimic, almost like acting.
Which leads to our practice idea, shadowing. Watch a short scene, maybe 10 seconds of a movie or YouTube video, pause it, and repeat what the person said with the same rhythm and emotion, even the same facial expression if you want.
Oh yeah. I used to shadow scenes from Friends. I'd repeat exactly how Rachel or Chandler said something. Not just the words, the feeling too.
Another way to lock in chunks is to use them out loud during your day. For example, say, I'm not sure about that when choosing what to eat, or that sounds good when picking music. Just sneak these phrases into your day.
The more you use chunks, the less effort it takes to speak. Your brain stops trying to invent sentences and starts replaying what it already knows.
So don't just collect words, start collecting useful chunks. They'll make your speech smoother, faster, and way more natural.
All right, ready for the next tip? This one's perfect if you always freeze at the beginning of a sentence.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. You know what you want to say, but your brain just hits pause. Nothing comes out. You're stuck in that awkward silence. Emily, exactly. That first-second panic is so common. You're thinking, how do I even start? And the pressure builds up. But here's the good news. There's a simple fix. We call them sentence starters. These are short, useful phrases that give your sentence a smooth takeoff. They're like little conversation ramps. You use them to get rolling, and once you're moving, the rest of the sentence just flows.
Totally. And they're supernatural. Native speakers use these all the time without even realizing it.
Let's give you 5 of our favorites. These are great for any situation, and they work especially well in daily conversations, interviews, or even writing.
Number 1. For me personally, this is perfect for sharing your opinion. Example. For me personally, I prefer working in the morning.
Number 2. I guess it depends. Use this when the answer isn't black and white. Like, I guess it depends on the weather.
Number 3. One thing I've noticed is this one is great for giving observations or talking about something you've experienced. Example. One thing I've noticed is that I learn faster when I write things down.
Number 4. What I usually do is very handy for describing your habits or routine. For example, what I usually do is read for 10 minutes before bed.
And number 5. You know what? I think. Super casual and friendly. You can use it to jump into your opinion or idea. You know what? I think that's actually a really good idea.
See, these aren't complicated, but they give you that little nudge to start your sentence, and that's often the hardest part.
Yeah. Once you get that first phrase out, your brain kind of relaxes. The pressure drops and your thoughts start flowing more easily. Chris, I always say, once you start the sentence, the rest flows easier. It's like getting a car moving. The hardest part is the first push. So here's a fun challenge for everyone listening. Each day this week, choose one sentence starter and use it in a complete sentence. Out loud. To yourself, your mirror, your cat, whatever.
Doesn't have to be long or fancy, just one real sentence. You'll be surprised how much more confident you feel after just a few days.
It's all about creating that speaking momentum. The more you practice starting, the less you'll freeze when it's time to speak in real life.
So next time your brain goes blank, grab a starter from your toolkit and go. You don't need the perfect sentence, you just need the first few words.
Exactly. Speaking gets easier when you stop waiting for perfection and just begin. Ready for the next tip? This one's all about turning words into daily practice.
And I love this one because it's so simple, but super effective. We call it the build a sentence habit. Here's how it works. Pick 3 words you already know. Make one full sentence using those words. Say it out loud. Repeat tomorrow. That's it.
That's such a great habit. You're not learning new words, you're using the ones that are already sitting in your brain. And by making full sentences, you're actually training your brain to build structure, not just memorize vocabulary.
Exactly. Let's do an example. Let's say your 3 words are coffee, cold, late. You could say, I grabbed a cold coffee because I was late. Boom, one full sentence.
Love it. Or you could say, my coffee got cold while I was running late. Same words, different structure. The cool thing is, there's no one right answer. You're creating flexibility.
And that's the goal. You want your brain to get used to connecting ideas quickly. So you take a few words, and instead of just repeating them, you use them. You turn them into meaning. That's what speaking is all about.
And you don't need a partner. You don't need a teacher. You don't even need Wi-Fi. You can literally do this while brushing your teeth.
I do it in the shower sometimes. Pick 3 random words from yesterday's notes and try to make a sentence before the water turns cold.
Okay, that's efficient and dramatic. But hey, whatever works. Chris, it's also a great way to warm up before a conversation or a meeting. Like a quick stretch, but for your mouth and brain. Right. And over time, you'll notice something awesome. Your sentences come out faster. You don't pause as much. You don't search for words. Because your brain's been practicing the rhythm, the structure, the order.
And it builds confidence. You're not just knowing words, you're using them. Every day. Even if it's just one sentence, that's progress.
So here's the challenge. Try this for 7 days straight. Every morning, write down 3 words you already know. Could be anything. Then build one real sentence and say it out loud.
You'll be surprised how fast your brain adapts, because just like your muscles, your language skills grow with repetition.
Chris always says this, and it's true. It's like muscle training for your brain.
Exactly. Start small, stay consistent, and your fluency will build itself one sentence at a time.
Coming up next, what to say when your mind goes totally blank in the middle of a conversation. It happens. But we've got a fix.
Oh yeah, that moment when someone asks you a question and your brain just freezes. No words, no ideas, just panic.
Totally normal. And here's the thing, native speakers do it too. All the time. The only difference is they know how to fill the space.
Exactly. That's where fillers come in. These are short, natural phrases that give you a few extra seconds to think without sounding awkward or going completely silent.
And they're super useful. Fillers help you keep the flow of conversation going while your brain catches up. It's like adding little pauses, kind of like commas in speaking.
Here are 5 of our favorite everyday fillers. These are common, casual, and super easy to use.
First up, let me think. Use this when you need a second to organize your thoughts. Example, let me think. I believe the last time I saw her was at the cafe.
Number 2. That's a good question. Perfect for interviews, presentations, or any situation where someone surprises you with a question. That's a good question. I'd probably say summer, because I love the beach.
Number 3. Well, this one's super common when you're trying to explain something or correct yourself. Example, well, it's not that I don't like it, I'm just not used to it.
Number 4. You know what I mean? This one helps check if the listener is following and gives you time to gather your next sentence. Example, it's like, I enjoy working alone, but sometimes I miss the team energy. You know what I mean?
And number 5. So, basically, use this to wrap up or summarize what you've just said. So, basically, I just decided to go for it.
And don't underestimate these. They're powerful tools. They make you sound relaxed, confident, and natural, like someone who's used English in real-life situations.
Plus, they reduce pressure. When you know what to say in those silent moments, you don't panic. You just keep talking.
So here's a little challenge. Every day this week, write down 3 sentences using fillers. Any topic. Then say them out loud. Get used to how they feel.
And mix them into your daily speech, even when talking to yourself. Like, what should I eat? Or, let me think. What time's the meeting? That's practice too.
The goal is to make these phrases automatic. So the next time your brain hits pause, your mouth doesn't freeze.
Exactly. Fillers are like speaking glue. They hold your thoughts together while you figure out the next part. Chris, or like I always say, smooth talking is all about smooth pausing. And like I always say, fillers are like putting commas in your speech. They don't stop the sentence, they help it keep moving.
All right, coming up next, what if you're speaking English, but no one's around to practice with? We've got some creative solutions for that.
Because let's be real, not everyone has an English-speaking friend or a study partner or a class to join. But that doesn't mean you can't practice speaking every single day.
Exactly. English isn't something you only use with other people. You can, and should, use it with yourself. And that brings us to tip number 5. Use your words in real life, even if you're alone.
This one's all about turning your vocabulary into real language. Not just knowing the word delicious, but actually saying, this soup is delicious, out loud in your kitchen, to no one but your spoon.
Let's start with one of my favorite tricks. Pretend you're narrating your life, like you're in a cooking vlog or a documentary. Example. Right now, I'm slicing some tomatoes. They're super ripe and juicy.
That's such a good one. I do that when I clean. Like, now I'm wiping down the desk. Wow, it was messier than I thought. It feels silly at first, but you're practicing real grammar and natural structure.
Exactly. It's not silly, it's smart. You're giving your brain real-time speaking practice. And that makes a big difference.
Another fun way? Talk to your pet, or your plant, or even your reflection. Seriously, just say what you're doing, how you feel, what you're thinking about. Your dog won't judge your grammar.
If anything, they'll be impressed. Especially if you're like, hey buddy, I had a long day. My brain's tired, but I'm proud I practiced today. That's a full sentence. That's progress.
And here's one I highly recommend: voice journaling. Every night, record yourself speaking for 1 minute. Just talk about your day, what you did, what made you laugh, what stressed you out. No script, just flow. Chris, yes, it builds confidence and fluency like nothing else. And over time, you can actually listen back and hear yourself improving. Fewer pauses, better word choice, more natural flow. Plus, it only takes a minute. No excuse. 1 minute a day is enough to remind your brain, hey, I use this language.
I always tell my students, describe your dinner. What it tasted like. That's still practice. You don't need deep topics, just everyday language.
And here's the key: the more you use the words you already know, the more automatic they become. Even just a few words a day, spoken out loud, will build your fluency over time.
So don't wait for the perfect conversation partner. Be your own partner. Use your English in your life, your space, your voice.
Even 1 minute a day helps. You're building confidence, sentence by sentence.
All right, let's wrap things up with a quick review and a little challenge to get you speaking today.
So, if you've ever felt stuck, even with all the vocabulary in the world, just remember, you don't need more words. You just need to use the ones you already have.
Exactly. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need long, fancy sentences. You just need to speak. Start messy. Start small. But start. That's how fluency begins.
Make the words come alive, one sentence at a time. That's the real secret.
Let's go over the 5 tips we talked about today. 1. Learn chunks, not just words, so you speak in real, natural patterns. 2. Use sentence starters to break that silence and get the words flowing. 3. Build a sentence habit. 1 sentence a day with 3 words you already know. 4. Use natural fillers to sound smooth and confident even when you're thinking. Use your words in real life. Describe your actions, talk to your pet, or voice journal.
These are simple, but they work. If you practice a little every day, your speaking will start to feel easier, smoother, and more automatic. Chris, so here's your mini challenge. Pick 1 tip from today and use it, right now or sometime today. Say a sentence out loud. Write it. Whisper it. Just get the words moving. And remember, progress is better than perfection. Always. Every sentence you say, even if it's small, is a win.
We believe in you, and we're cheering you on, 1 word at a time.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll catch you next time, same place, with more tips to help you speak with confidence.
Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep speaking. You've got this.
And hey, before we go, it's time for a quick vocab review. Let's test your memory in our mini quiz.
We've covered 8 super useful words and phrases in today's episode. Let's go over them one by one, with easy meanings and real examples.
First up, chunk. A chunk is just a group of words we often say together. Like, instead of just saying recommend, you say, I'd recommend trying. That full phrase is a chunk.
Next is collocation. That's when 2 words naturally go together. Like, we say make a decision, not do a decision. Sounds more natural, right?
Then we've got filler. Fillers are little phrases that buy you time while you think. Like, that's a good question. Or, let me think. They help your speech flow smoothly.
How about a sentence starter? These are phrases that help kick off a sentence. Something like, for me personally, or I guess it depends. They take the pressure off those first few words.
Number 5 is build a sentence. This is that habit we talked about, using 3 words you already know to build 1 full sentence every day. For example, coffee, cold, late. I grabbed a cold coffee because I was late.
Next is getting stuck. That's when your brain freezes and you can't continue. Like, I got stuck halfway through my sentence, Happens to everyone. Emily. Then we have real English. This means the natural way people really speak, not textbook style, like, you know what I mean? Or, what's up? That's real English. And finally, collect dust. This one's fun. It means something isn't being used. So if you never use your vocabulary notebook, you can say, it just collects dust on my shelf.
All right, that's your vocab quiz for today. No pressure, just review and try to use one or two in your own sentence today.
Because remember, knowing words is cool, but using them, that's what really makes them stick.
We'll catch you next time, friends. Until then, keep those words alive. One sentence at a time. All right, friends, before we wrap up today's episode, we just want to leave you with one simple reminder.
You don't have to speak perfectly. You don't have to say long, impressive sentences. You just need to try. Every time you speak, even a short sentence, you're making progress.
Exactly. We know it's easy to feel stuck or scared of mistakes. But honestly, mistakes are part of the process. That's how we grow.
There's a quote I really love from Nelson Mandela. He said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And that's how speaking English feels at first. Hard, awkward, even impossible. But then, one sentence leads to another.
I love that. Because fluency isn't a finish line, it's a journey, and you don't have to rush it. Just take one step each day.
So if you're listening to this and thinking, I'm not good enough yet, we want you to know you are good enough. You're learning, you're showing up, and that matters.
Here's our challenge for you. Today, say one sentence in English. Out loud. To yourself, your pet, your phone, whoever. Just speak. That one sentence is a win.
And tomorrow, say another one. Little by little, you'll feel more confident, more natural. It builds up.
Thanks for spending your time with us. We believe in you, and we're proud of every word you speak.
See you next time. Until then, keep going, keep trying, and keep speaking. You're doing better than you think.